Hello everybody and welcome back. We're going to do another product review, but this time we're going to be talking about a little bit of everything, so it's not just one specific link. We're going to be talking about dice, and there's a lot of dice to use other than just the normal 7 dice, and how you can use them at your table to really elevate your gameplay. So first and foremost, the dice that I want to start off with are going to be hit splat dice. This one happens to be my favorite. It actually gives a little diagram of where you got hit, but also the Fallout RPG happened to give you one as well. But a hit splat dice is so cool to add a little extra depth to combat. One might argue that D&D combat does need a little bit of spicing up, especially when it comes to martials. So if you give them the ability to cripple arms, limbs, and the like, it might just add that extra degree of fun that your players are looking for, and a little extra strategy as well. The next dice we're going to be talking about is going to be terrain dice. These bad boys, you've got the forest, you've got dungeons, you've got cities, and what's in them. So when you roll these things, if you don't necessarily know where you're going, or even if it's a theater of the mind type of play, you're always prepared, and a little bit of randomization can really help with a story. Sometimes it can be a little bit dull just coming from one source, so throw something random in the mix. The next set of dice goes very well with the previous dice we were just talking about, and that's going to be weather and direction. So what's the weather like, and what direction is the wind blowing? If the wind's blowing in the direction of somebody who might be very perceptive, they're able to catch a scent, be able to hunt on their trail. There's a little bit of extra immersion that actually comes into this, as long as you have this information that most of the time is just arbitrary, but it can really come in handy when it works in somebody else's favor, a player or maybe even an NPC. And to top those bad boys off, there's always going to be loot for whatever you found. What if for some reason you call for an investigation check for looting a body, and that's a 20 plus 5 plus this plus that, and now he's got a 30-something for this investigation check? What do? Loot dice. You didn't have loot prepared, but I tell you what they do. Right over here, you got some jewelry, potions, documents, anything that you might be able to think of. This is a handy little tool for you. And no, you don't really need to call investigation checks for looting bodies, but if you did, you could do it with this. The next handy tool in the Dungeon Master's bag has got to be randomization dice for creating characters. Whether it comes to creating a player character on the fly or just an NPC, you're able to know the specifics immediately. And all you really got to do is come up with a name, and there are thousands of name generators for those too. So we've got these dice right here that show what they would be good at. Roll these bad boys and you're going to be able to see at the very least what they exemplify in. You get strength 3 times, of course he's a strong guy. You get dex 3 or 4 times, he's on you with his eyes. Stuff like that really helps to build out the character. And if you only needed to roll one of these bad boys, that's fine too, just to know what they're good at immediately. There's also some really cool dice that help you to customize things like class, race, and alignment. Throw all of these out at the same time and you literally have a randomized character at the moment. We've got a Turtle Bard who's also neutral good. He's great at dex, and now, what's important to him? We have 7 virtues and 7 sins dice. You would be able to roll this to see what's his weakness, what's his sin. Maybe his greatest weakness is the lust of his captain or the pride he shows in his position. And maybe his greatest virtue is his absolute fortitude, where he's able to show you that he will not quit. And really all of that storytelling was done with just one flick of the dice. And to top that thing all off, you could just ask what kind of mood they're in too. Roll that thing and you're gonna see if they're happy, sad, a little bit sick, loving, all of that. You can interpret what these emojis mean for your character, especially to make it thematically fit for your table. So those are all the kind of funky different kinds of dice that you might be able to use at your table, but there's a bunch of different ways that you can utilize normal dice to make things even more fun. You guys have got to check out little things like these healing potions. When you hand this off to your player and they finally get to make that heal, it really helps to immerse them into the game where it's not just their dice, it's the red healing dice and it's ready for them to go. Within my bag of tricks, there's those simple ones like just a normal dice, but when you hit the 1, you get rickrolled. I doubt the camera's gonna focus on it, but you know what it says. And even when it comes to selecting a variety of dice, you could go for the middle design. Something maybe a little bit more intricate too. But these do cost a little bit of money, but they got that clickety-clack like nobody else's business. But when it comes to selecting a set of dice, I recommend 11, not 7. 11's much more useful for when you're playing D&D. And you know what? If you really just want to have a little bit of fun with your friends and say, roll initiative, throw this right at them. It's just a little foam squishy thing, but it could be a lot of fun and start a dice war. And if you don't really want to pick out your dice, there's lots of mystery dice sets on the internet. This one I think cost me about $6-7 maybe. Totally worth it. But for me, that's going to be it, everybody. If there's any more interesting sets of dice that you guys have found, please leave them in the comments. But also, what's your favorite set of dice that you currently own? I'd love to hear it. But bye, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. And for those of you who don't know, we usually open a box at the end of each one of our product reviews. So I figured I'd open one up, but I had one Pathfinder box left, and I just bought a brand new Dungeons & Dragon box. And I wanted to do a little versus battle, see which one was going to win. So let's open these bad boys up and see what we got. And yes, I take the tape off first because you guys don't want to see me with all of the tape. I'm sure you knew what that meant. First things first is the Tengu Rogue. I'm pretty sure that's just like a Kenku, but it looks so good. And with one more Draugr to add to the collection, we literally have a whole unit now. The second Yugolath in the party, and this one looks much more intimidating. And this one here I am actually super excited about. It's a trap, a swinging pendulum. I've seen this in every single Assassin's Creed. I love it. Next up, let's look at Wild Beyond the Witchlight. And I will be honest, guys, the first box I opened up was kind of small. There was nothing of note in there, but they might be able to dazzle me with some designs. So we'll see what we got. I like what I got in here. I wish I could have gotten a bigger one like I usually get in the boxes. But you know what? This one was really fun. A pixie. And the wings are very nice. We've got a Myconid adult. This thing is really cool. I want to get a whole fleet of Myconid. I'm personally going to call this one the Pot of Greed. If you guys have ever played Yu-Gi-Oh, you might see a resemblance. But this is really cool. And the lid comes off. And last but not least, in this box I have a halfling, a dwarf, a person. I don't really know. But his name's Bobby. Who the heck is Bobby? Alright, Pathfinder wins. But if you like that video, everybody, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you all later.